Okay, Trish. Hey, lady, how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you this morning?
Oh, God, much better than I was a week and a half ago. But you ready to get this started? Because I got to open up the doors on the YouTube side, too.
You know I am. Let's hit it.
All right, let's go. Okay, you guys, welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap. Well, today we got Trish and myself. I'm Letitia. Where we're going to break down the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful. And the only reason that we don't have Keisha is because she had to work today.
Aw.
Yeah. Now, I did do the best and of the whole 2022 year in review, and oh my God, we had so many struggles with that live last week.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I don't know what was going on, but we had signal issues. It kept going in and out. I mean, it was crazy. And then I think she was still, even though she felt better, she was still kind of hoarse, but she pushed through it.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Girl, listen, I don't know if you've seen Monday's episode, but it is crazy for the Young and the Restless.
I have not, and I'm looking forward to it now.
Oh my God. The Young and the Restless episode for January 9th. Cause see, here's the thing. I heard that a lot of the things were going to be happening next week. I didn't think they were going to just put it all in in one episode though. That's what threw me. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So you guys, and I'll drop little nuggets here and there in regards to Monday's episode for the Young and the Restless, but it's going to be good. I can say that. Hey, you guys, now on the YouTube side, I have an option. If you are open to being able to chat live with us, I actually have a link, and I'm only going to pick one person. Hey, Janet, I'm only going to pick one person, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to, because I want to start also maybe every now and then involving one person to talk with us. What do you think, Trish?
Well, that sounds like fun.
It would be fun, wouldn't it? All right. Good morning, Freakzilla Worldwide. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead. We're gonna unpack the week of January 2nd. Happy New Year to everybody. Through January 6th. Now, what we normally do, we break down the Young and the Restless first. Then we do the Bold and the Beautiful, and then there's two segments at the end: flip the script, and also who's gonna take a seat this week. So we got a lot to unpack. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Young and the Restless. So, for the week of January 2nd through January 6th, 2023, Jeremy Stark demanded that Diane prove her loyalty. Sally confirmed that she was pregnant. Billy and Lily were deeply affected by their first couples therapy session. Abby and Devon decided they wanted to be together. Over Devon's objections, Jill and Lily decided to move forward with the Chancellor-Winters IPO. All right, where you want to start at, girl?
Well, I mean, we may as well just start where we know the fight's going to be because Devon does not want to go forward with that IPO.
Yeah, and it gets good even going into next week. I mean, my thing is, and I had this conversation with somebody else as well. You already had a mole in your midst, which you got rid of. Why wouldn't you wait before trying to start it up all over again?
Well, and they know better. I mean, Jill didn't just fall off of a turnip truck, and she was around when the same thing happened to Jabot. And so she should know better than to just dive into this kind of thing. And, you know, I've been through a couple of IPOs, and I will tell you, it is not for the faint of heart. and
Mhm.
anything can happen. And anything did happen, and it was crazy.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't even know how, I think Tucker had told Devon, just uncouple the Hamilton Winters part of Chancellor Winters. Well, how easy is that too, Letitia? You know that's not easy to do. You can't just back it out like a car in a parking space.
Exactly. I mean, seriously. I mean, once you already been under attack, why would you, in a matter of weeks, say, "Oh well, okay, we diverted that. Let's just go ahead and go. Go ahead and go public." Are you stupid?
It's so crazy. There's so much. There's so many things that are happening on the shows right now where please don't think that your audience is ignorant. I mean, we know things and
Mm-hmm.
we've lived lives, and I don't know. It just it's almost a little insulting, but I have to laugh because it is a soap. So
Okay. Can you guys hear me on the YouTube side? I see messages in the chat saying that you cannot hear. So let me know if you can hear me. All right. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you still got Audra in the mix too.
yep,
That's the other thing, is that Audra is also in this whole thing, and she's a mole as well.
yep,
Okay,
yeah.
she said it sounds robotic. I don't understand what's going on. Okay. Darn it. Because we were having the same issue on Monday when we were doing, what you
Uh-huh.
call it.
Oh, and I'm so not technical about anything. I'm sorry. No.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. That is really weird. I know I'm not a robot.
We are not robots. We are humans that happen to watch soaps.
Girl, you so funny. You are hilarious. Um, okay, so you know what? Hold on 1 second. Okay. She says she's just getting muffled sounds. What, let me see what is going on. Okay. Just seeing other comments. It's not just me. I might have to end the stream and restart it on the YouTube side. I hate that I have to do this. I don't know. I'm going to have to contact my platform provider to find out what's going on. But that is not cool at all. Because we were having a good time over here in the past several weeks on both sides. So I don't understand why this is happening. Can you guys hear me? If not, because I don't want to interrupt the live if we're back on track. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking about the show and then we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, that whole thing is just crazy. And the interesting thing about next week on Monday is Devon is about to call it out. Both Tucker and Audra.
Well, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. Well, it is. I saw it already, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah. Pretty much, Devon is probably done with Tucker at this point,
I would hope so.
as he should be. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I mean, obviously Tucker thought he can move under the radar without any flack, and people wasn't gonna suspect anything. And it's like, come on. And the crazy thing is that the ringtone was the one thing that gave the two of them away.
Isn't that this? I mean, it's the tiniest of little mistakes. Like you're sitting there and you're talking about what you're going to do and you're making all your devious plans, and you say, I'm going to set your ringtone to this so that I know it's you when you call. And then the other person smiles and says, oh, that's a great idea. I'll use the same ringtone so that we know, not realizing that they've just connected themselves and they're thinking
Exactly.
so tricky and they're thinking they're so smart. And that's the one kindergarten, fifth grader mistake that gets you busted. And I love it because you think about all of those business intricacies and the strategic brain that it takes to do what they're trying to do, and then to
Mm-hmm.
flub up with a ringtone. Classic.
And I know the littlest thing can get you busted.
Yep.
That's the crazy thing about that. And it's just so unfortunate that they weren't smart enough to just turn off and silence their phones.
Exactly. It actually reminded me. Did you ever watch One Adam 12?
Girl, that was so long ago.
So there was one of the shows where the cops caught the woman robber
Mm-hmm.
because the one of the cops was married and his wife wore wigs, and the
Mm-hmm.
robber wore wigs and she forgot to refluff her hair after she threw the wig in the trash at the bus stop, and they
Mm-hmm.
caught her because he recognized wig hair.
Wow.
I mean, it's the simplest little things that crooks don't think of.
Wow. I mean, seriously, it could be the smallest little thing to just blow up everything.
Yep.
And in this case, it was the ringtone that both Audra and Tucker had. And Devon is like, you know what? That's suspicious. I mean, what are the chances of the two of them having the exact same ringtone?
Only if it was planned.
Exactly. Exactly. And it blew up in their faces. But it was good for Devon to actually, pretty much say, you know what? I don't know. This don't sit well with me. Let me just go ahead and check into this. And he did. So I thought that was pretty cool. I really I like how the writers actually construed that, because he was, hey, both Audra and Tucker thought that they could just, roll up under the radar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, oh well.
Exactly. And I can't wait for it to crash because Tucker is just so confident and so what's the word I'm looking for? Just lackadaisical about all of this.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the thing is, okay. So Tucker's plan was to run either Chancellor-Winters by taking over it with Devon, right,
Yep.
or get with Ashley and then turn around and run a company with her.
Yes. And neither one of them wants to work with him at this point. I don't know what
Well,
happens
here's the
next week,
thing.
but
Here's the Monday episode is so good. I got to give it to him. I had lost kind of, I was going through day by day. Some stuff is interesting, but they kicked butt on Monday.
oh man, I can't wait.
And the thing is Ashley is there to witness all of it from Devon.
So she finds out that Tucker's still crap.
Well, here's the thing. She goes over because she's pissed off at Jack and Diane, because Diane is at the house as usual, right?
Yep.
She goes to visit Tucker, sleeps with Tucker. He goes in the shower, which gives her opportunity to go check through his stuff.
Uh-huh.
And she found documentation on Chancellor-Winters. She found documentation on a company that he was going to try to build with Ashley. And now she doesn't trust him. And then to put the icing on the cake, Devon shows up and blow up his world.
Oh my gosh.
So now he's lost Ashley because she walked out on him, and Devon and Dominic is off limits now.
How exciting.
Yeah. And so, but it gets worse.
oh no.
He teams up with your girl Phyllis.
oh my God.
Monday is crazy.
You
And
know,
the thing is that Phyllis is pissed off because she catches Diane and Jack kissing at the
oh,
Abbott mansion.
disgusting.
Girl, I was too through. I said, "Oh yeah, this is good. This is good."
Oh my gosh.
So, and I'm glad that they put some life back into the Young and the Restless. I mean, because for the most part, we've been dealing with this whole Sally thing, and Nick keep popping up, and Adam is groveling and, you
And
know,
that whole thing never had to be, because everybody knew exactly what all the fans wanted. We were all, well, the majority of people were saying how hot they were for Sally
mm-hmm,
and Adam. And they
mm-hmm.
just really, quite frankly, they ruined the entire storyline with what they did, because they took the wind out of everybody's sails. And now the baby.
And now the baby. And the crazy thing is, you see what Sally did yesterday, right?
Yep.
You know what she's trying to do, right?
Yep.
So she's only a matter of probably, because her last period was November 14th. So she's probably about a good 6 weeks pregnant, right?
Yep.
So she figured it's so early enough. Let me sleep with Nick today. So then I can say, oh my God, Nick, I'm pregnant. He's going to believe it because he just slept with her.
But didn't they sleep together after she and Adam did?
That's the problem. And see, that's why she's at a loss, because she slept with both Adam and Nick in the same week, which was the week of December 5th.
Right, right. So, I mean, I don't know, sleeping with him now doesn't really have any matter unless she's going to try to make it look like the kid came early.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be a matter of weeks. And it's different. Like, just say, for example, she got pregnant around the second week or the first or the second week of December, right?
Uh-huh.
But then she stopped sleeping with Nick, and then at the beginning of February, she sleeps with him. You talking about a good 2, almost 3 months, right?
Yes.
Whereas her being in a matter of what, 2, because I would say she probably conceived around the time she slept with Adam, because usually your ovulation usually is like 10 to 14 days after the beginning of your last menstrual cycle.
Yes.
Right? So if her last period was November 14th, 2 weeks from that would put her the first week of December.
Yes.
And she slept with both of
Both
them
of them.
that week.
Yep, day after day. Yeah.
And she admitted that she did not use protection.
Yeah.
And then she admitted that she skipped a couple of her birth control pills.
Yes.
So now,
bad combination.
Now here's the thing. Yesterday was what, January 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're 4 weeks off from where she actually slept with Adam.
Right.
He could technically, if Nick is not paying attention, or the baby comes a month early, it really wouldn't raise suspicion. I'm not in agreements at all. I don't like when women do this type of thing.
No, I don't.
So
no,
let me just put that
don't.
out there.
You don't play with lives like that.
No. I've never been a fan of putting a baby guy that is not the father, because
Absolutely.
you're trying to control the situation. Never a fan of that. But in this soap world that we're talking about, this is looking exactly what Sally is trying to do, which is why Victor warned her to say, you haven't changed.
Yes.
Because she tried to pull a whole scam with faking being sick just to get back with Wyatt on The Bold and the Beautiful. That whole thing almost costing Liam. Liam chose to be in that situation while married to Steffy, end up in that building almost under rocks with Sally.
Because of Bill.
Because of Bill, right? Because Bill, he did make the crazy decision to blow up the stupid building. But the thing is that Liam didn't have to follow her in there or tell her to get the French toast out of there, right?
No, he did not. He absolutely made that choice.
Yeah, and then all of the other stuff that she pulled. I mean, that whole scam at Forrester with her being sick, she had other Forresters doing her designing.
Yep.
That's how bad it was. Then come to Genoa City, the whole thing with Summer and Kyle and Theo and Jack and Lauren and the dress and all this kind of stuff. That stuff just don't go away overnight just because you decide to date Nicholas, the golden boy.
Right.
And sure enough, here we go again. She's pulling the same little scam.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know why they're making her do this, because to me, both men know she was with both men. So if you're pregnant, you're pregnant. And
right.
If you're going to keep the baby, then why not just sit both men down and say,
that's what I say.
I'm
Exactly.
pregnant and it's one of yours. And I don't know whose it is. And you both know I don't know whose it is because you both know that I slept with both of you.
Right.
The worst decision I made in my life, but I did. And now here we are. There's a baby and you're brothers. So we got to get a DNA test as soon as we can.
Girl, listen, that's what you call taking accountability.
Yes. And I know it's a soap, but wouldn't it be nice to see what would happen if we actually played a storyline out like that?
We've never been able to play
Never
a
been able to see it.
I mean, out of all of the who's the baby daddy storylines that we've had on both of these soaps, it never played out like that.
No.
And I said the exact when I was watching this yesterday, what you just said, Trish, is the exact same thing that I was saying. I'm like, why don't you just sit these dudes down and talk to them?
Well, yeah, can you imagine the scenes where both guys are out shopping for the baby for stuff because they think it's theirs until they find out who it is, and they run into each other and they're having like bitter comical arguments about, no, it's going to be this color room, or no, it's going to be it would actually be funny.
Here's the interesting thing, Trish. If Sally hasn't done her history, there's one marker that differentiate both Adam and Nicholas, even though they're biologically brothers. The thing is, and Chelsea tried to pull this off with Dylan, and it blew up in her face.
Yep.
Connor had a hereditary eye degeneration condition.
Yep.
Hope had it. Adam's mom had it. Adam had it. Connor had it. Yep. So while she wants to play these games,
she doesn't know.
She don't realize that in Adam's family is a rare eye condition.
And if they make Chloe get involved and change something, that's going to be even worse because Chloe knows about the eye condition.
Exactly. And my thing is, Chelsea tried to pull the same thing when she tried to pass that baby off as Dylan's.
Yep.
And when that baby came back having that eye, and she knew she slept with Adam.
Yes, she did.
And she tried to pass it off as Dylan. And when Connor was born and he started having that eye condition that only is hereditary, that blew everything up.
Exactly.
So, Sally, you can play that game all you want. Because here's the thing, Nick knows that too. Nick knows that's not in Nikki and Victor's side of the family.
Exactly. He watched that show.
When they come back,
he saw that episode.
Exactly. When they come back and tell her that, ma'am, we need to tell you something, but it looked like your child has, what is it called? I used to could say that all the time because I think I said it on one of the, oh God.
Macroocular degeneration or something. I don't know.
I forgot. Hold on. It's going to
I might have just made that up, Letitia.
I know. Adam Newman's eye condition. I forgot the name. I used to could say it. Shoot. Yeah. Adam over here is Dylan. Chelsea's new husband tell Billy about the fact that Connor has an eye disorder that inherited from the side of the family. He never had it. Darn it. It's what is it? Retina. It's retina pigmentosa or something like that. Retinitis pigmentosa. That's what it is. And so, it blinds you, which is, of course, Adam's mom, Hope, was blind.
Right. And I remember the original Adam was giving shots in his eyes.
Exactly. So, yeah, keep playing, Sally. Because here's the thing. Somebody posted that Nick and Sharon is supposed to be getting back together down the line in 2023. And the reason being is because Nick is going to find out about the shocker of the baby. Now, the question is, what's the shocker? Is it going to come out that the baby is older than what Sally told him? Or is this eye condition going to pop back up?
Yeah, and why would you be surprised?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
The only surprise I could see is if someone messed with the test and then someone fixed the test.
What do you mean by saying that the baby doesn't have an eye disease?
Yeah, like say the baby really is Nick's and say someone says it's Adam's, or
Mm-hmm.
say it's really Adam's and someone says it's really Nick's. The only surprise would be if whoever said it wrong on purpose because they both know that they slept with her.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way. They could
It
play it.
could.
They could play it where it's Nick's kid, and then somebody make up a lie to push it toward Adam. But the way that the storyline is going in this moment, Sally is trying to push that baby toward Nick.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, and then she was so rude to Adam. Adam was just trying to figure out, are you okay? How you doing? What is your angle? What do you want from me? What are you trying to do? And I'm like, girl, stop.
Yeah, you can't blame her though after what he did.
Yeah, well, we can't go back to 2022 because,
Yeah.
hey, listen, y'all know, you and Keisha know that both Sally knew exactly what this was.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She knew. She only got cuckoo in the head after Chloe kept telling her, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, she shouldn't be doing that." She knew Adam left that company because of Victoria,
Yeah.
and to put her into her dream job. Adam did that, so I give her no grace for that. I'm sorry.
I got to give her the grace for the broken heart because he broke her.
He broke her.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, she had the opportunity to walk away. She should
Yeah,
have walked,
she
and
did.
she
But
ended up up on.
that heart's in there screaming, do what I say. And the brain's going, no, run. And the heart's going, no, do what I say. And the brain goes, okay.
Mm, yeah, well, I don't know if you ever heard this term, probably on social media. You should facts over feelings. It
Oh,
is what
well,
it
yeah,
is,
but,
you know. And the
the heart
thing is,
doesn't listen to that,
yeah, I know, but the
sadly.
you so funny, girl.
Well, I mean,
Um,
there'd be a lot less hurt in the world if it did, but it doesn't.
yeah, and that's the thing is that Adam, she just slept with Adam that
Yeah,
day, and then he walked away, and then
no.
she, what? I
Why
didn't
did
hear.
they even sleep together? To me, that was like, okay, we're going to do this one last time to see if there's anything still here, but we're not feeling it. So we're going to check and see if we don't feel it, but we're not feeling it. But we're
I'm
going
not
to check it.
talking about that sex scene. I'm
Oh,
talking about the sex scene right before Adam enacted his plan of stepping down as CEO from Newman.
oh yeah, that was unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So my thing is that hold on. Gina. Okay. I gotta post this. I will upload. I'm gonna, because I can upload this as a video on the YouTube. Because they're asking, "Where are you? Why we
Oh
won't
no,
listen?"
they don't hear you? Us?
I'll upload the podcast, or I'm gonna invite Jenna. You can chat live if you like. I can send you the link. Jenna is, yeah, she's a diehard fan, so I would let
Cool.
her in over here with us if she wants.
Excellent.
But I'll see if she wants the link. Look at there, and of course, you have you ever got upset with your autocorrect because of the fact that it changes things when you don't want to?
Yes, I absolutely have gotten upset with my autocorrect. And then I yell at it like it's going to, say, "Oh, sorry, okay,"
Mm-hmm.
but it never does.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so yeah, I'm talking about the time that they slept together because they slept together, and then Adam decided to sneak out of the bed and decide to put this plan in place to prove
Since
to Victoria and Nick that he was no longer attached to Sally.
Which is
I,
so stupid because
mm-hmm.
they've all been in relationships that, Victor didn't approve of and wanted him done with. And I mean, none of them has a right to have any judgment or say anything to Adam about his relationships to me.
Yeah, hey, I agree with you on
But I
that
mean,
one.
it wouldn't be a soap if people didn't get in other people's business.
Right, exactly. But this week, then we had the whole conversation with Victor showing up at Jabot,
Mm-hmm.
trying to talk about, oh, I came by Jabot just to see if we could see Connor more. I'm like, you could have made a phone call for that.
Right. And I mean, like, does Wisconsin have grandparents' rights, visitation rights? There's only a few states that have that.
Well, here's my thing. I already thought that Connor was hanging out over there anyway.
I did too.
So I don't understand. He act like Connor has just been gone. Now I will say he has been hanging out with Chelsea since the whole thing that she was going through, but that doesn't mean that he don't like his grandparents anymore. I mean, he act like that whole conversation made Victor look like a big baby.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing is he don't want him working at Jabot.
Uh-uh. No, he wants him to do what he wants him to do when he wants him to do it. How he
Well,
wants it done.
well, it's about to get ugly because but in the next upcoming week or so, Victor's going to team up with Kyle to oust Adam from Jabot.
Wow.
So this man gets the CEO job. He's not bothering anybody. He's coming to visit you at Christmas. He's letting your grandson see you, but it's not enough. So he's like, okay, if you don't work for me, you can't work for nobody. That just
crazy.
sounds like a toxic relationship.
Absolutely toxic.
So you rather this man have no job, be out on the street because he didn't want to work for you.
Because then he might get desperate and need to come back to work for daddy.
But here's my thing. Victoria don't want him there. I don't understand why Victor won't tell Victoria, because he keep coming up in Adam's face about this. The problem is not Adam, it's Victoria.
No. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Adam does goad Victoria, and Adam did try to kill the whole family by trying to blow the building up. And Victoria's never done anything like that, but she definitely has a hand in this.
And this whole recent situation of the fact of them trying to, because when he was working over at Newman Media, because I hear what you're saying about the whole thing before, but Adam is also the same man that tried to keep Gaines away from her wedding.
Yep.
He was in Tuscany trying to help Ashlyn and her get together last year, so their wedding goes without a hitch.
Yep.
That man was by her side through that whole process, and then you turn around and then you get your seat back. He the one paid the guy to get the French toast out of town.
Yep.
He was about to leave until you decide to go up in there and play games.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then you turn around and don't want him working at the company. Man, I don't blame Adam for wanting to walk away from that.
I don't either.
And then your brother's wishy-washy. When he's mad at daddy, then he's Adam's friend.
Right.
When Nick and Victor and Victoria are all in a good space, then it's, oh, Adam is a horrible person. Ain't nobody got time for that, man, riding the fence.
No, that's, you just flip-flopping all day.
And then at the same time, you know that I'm going through something with my current girlfriend, but then I'm going to interject myself in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I was Adam, I wouldn't want no parts of that nonsense.
I know. It'd be for sure no contact.
I mean, Adam done some bad things, but he also he came in and helped Nicholas, especially his daughter. Dude is missing an organ, for God's sakes.
Exactly.
And then the same thing with Ashlyn. And it's like, so what? We don't care. Okay, cool. Peace out.
Yep.
Anywho, but yeah, that whole conversation with Victor and Adam, it's like, and I will say, Adam said, you probably wish I had stayed with Sally because now you don't want the golden boy with her.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly
that was.
I had to laugh.
I had to. Girl, I had to laugh at that one. That was too funny.
Oh gosh, yeah, it was funny.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we got? Okay, let's talk about Billy and Lily.
Oh God, the train wreck is over.
Listen, they wanted to get back together on Tuesday, and by Friday they were broken up.
Well, I guess the questions that the therapist was asking, like, what do you have in common that you, other than your work, that you could be passionate about, when they started answering the questions, I guess they figured that they didn't really have anything in common. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Crazy. Was
Yeah,
a
I
flash
mean,
for sure.
right. I mean, it's just we saw the writing on the wall probably as far back as the podcast that him and Chelsea had.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, okay, Gina wants to get in. Hold on, let me give her this link too.
Cool.
Hold on, hold on. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so let me paste the link. Hopefully she can click on it. Okay, cool. We'll see if she pops in. She probably have to download the app, but maybe not. If she pops in, we'll see.
Great.
Jenna calls me a Phyllis hater.
Oh, I don't think you hate Phyllis. I think you put her feet to the fire and you hold her to task, whereas I tend to give her a few passes.
Yeah, listen, she called me. We was in the comment section going back and forth. What was that, Thursday? Because I was telling, because Phyllis was whining and crying over at Crimson Lights, and so she I was going back and forth. She got to hold herself accountable, blah, blah, blah. She's been gaslighting Summer. She won't, I mean, granted, Diane caused some of this stuff, but she got to take accountability of stuff that she caused too, bringing Stark to town. She called me a Phyllis hater. When we were at the end of it, we was like, oh, it's all in good soap fun, but it's just funny.
It is fun.
Okay, so back to Billy and Lily. So, um, yeah, that whole thing was falling apart way back when. I mean, I honestly, okay, because remember, what were they running? Chance.com together. Remember?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then with this whole thing with Adam and Victor and Ashland, that because they bought Cyaxaries back or whatever. I like that name. I've never heard it. That's a good company name. Could you imagine a company called Cyaxaries? That
No,
sounds like a tech company.
but I couldn't imagine being the person who had to answer like in the days of actually answering the phones.
Mhm.
Good morning, Cyax. Hello, can I help you?
Listen, I can say it. And they're like, "Good morning. This is Cyaxaries Corporation. How can I help you?" Oh my god.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's
too
a
funny.
mouthful. Like those, the joke law firm called Dewey, Cheatham and Howe.
No, yeah, exactly. Do we cheat them and how?
Was that
Um,
who was that? That originally
was
did
that the
that
Three
joke? It had to be
Stooges?
somebody from the 20s or 30s, I think.
Was that was the Three Stooges?
Was it the Three Stooges?
Yeah, that was the Three Stooges. That was hilarious. I
Dewey,
remember that.
Cheatham and Howe.
Exactly.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so when that whole thing imploded at Chancecom and then Jill offered Lily to run Chancellor,
Yeah.
Billy did not want to be in that. He did not wanted to be in a corporate role.
He didn't. And he was flourishing in the podcast, but then it was like, okay, I'm done.
Well, the thing is that he wasn't being honest with himself because
No.
he went along with what made Lily happy. And Lily got a little passive aggressive at times too.
Well, and she did that for a reason because he wouldn't be honest with her, and she
Mm-hmm.
could feel it, and she knew it, and she kept pushing him to tell the truth, and he still to this day, even though he doesn't work there anymore, he still hasn't said, I should have stayed with the podcast.
Yeah, he should have because that's where his passion was.
Yeah.
And so, but my thing is, anytime you have to beg somebody to do anything,
It's not
that is that's your cue to just say, you know what, you really don't want this.
right.
And when Lily was begging him, please, I need you, be my COO and Billy is like, I'm not really in the corporate thing and blah, blah, blah.
But
Oh,
it'll be
please.
so
Just,
great. It'll be so, oh, can't you just see it? We'll be
yep.
together, working together all day, and then we'll be here together all night.
You see how that went.
Yeah, poof.
Poof.
Smoke.
That's why she should have just left that dude alone.
Yep.
Let him be. But I think she wanted to keep tabs on him because
She
Billy is
knew
a
he's
wild
a
card.
card.
Say it again. Say it again, Trish.
She knew he was a wild card.
Yep. They all did. Phyllis knew that. Victoria knew that. I don't know. That's why when you see a person for who that Maya Angelou, when you see that, believe them.
Yeah, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yep.
Exactly. So you can't change people. People have to want to change themselves. And Billy want to be Billy.
Yeah, he hasn't changed for anybody yet. And if he has, it's only been for a short time.
And
now, I will say he's not gambling and he's not,
right.
drinking or anything. So that's a good thing. And yet, at the same time, he did manage to find another addiction. And that is being Savior King to somebody, whether it's Chelsea or Victoria or whoever it is. He's got to be saving someone.
And the thing is, the podcast helped him release all of that on he was, because remember before Chelsea came into the picture, he was just being a one-man show.
And he was doing well, too.
And he was doing well, exactly. So now, when you brought Chelsea on board, well, we all know Chelsea was trying to get up under him.
Right.
And that blew up.
Ridiculous.
Sometimes, as much as we fuss at the storyline, it's the writers behind it. Because it's like, why did you do that? That girl had a lucrative career.
Yep.
She was in fashion design. Adam saved a position for her to come back after she came from Minnesota or whatever, which, of course, Melissa Claire Egan was pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
And once she delivered her baby, got off of maternity leave, it brought Chelsea back to the show, supposedly working at Newman Media.
Yeah.
Of course, then Sally was there and Chloe. But I thought that was the dumbest thing ever because none of them like you. Not Sally per se. Mm-hmm. But Chloe, it was like, why would you hire this person who can't stand you and put a bullet in your gut?
Yeah.
Did you not think that eventually that Chloe was going to turn on you? Yeah. And she was the mouthpiece between both those women.
Yep.
She was either telling Chelsea something about Adam or she was telling Sally something about Adam.
She sure was.
That was the worst business move I think Adam could have made by bringing Chloe in there.
Yeah.
Now, if he wanted to save a position when she got back to town, all he had to do is say, hey, look, I want you to do A, B, C, and D, blah, blah, blah. It just didn't make sense. And it ended up, I'm glad that they brought awareness to mental health, which is why they put Chelsea in that direction toward the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just, that whole thing was just so weird at Newman Media. It's just jacked up to me.
I agree. There was a lot of what? Well, that wouldn't really have happened that way. But again, it's a soap. We could, dissect it all day, but.
Right. And then, going back to the whole Billy Lily thing, he became so consumed because Billy is what Chelsea was going through. Remember that whole out-of-body experience that Victoria helped him out of in the cabin or whatever in the woods or something. Yeah, so a part of him connects to Chelsea through that.
Yeah, I get that, and still, I just don't like them together at all.
Yeah, I don't. Who, Chelsea and Billy? Well, they're probably going to go that direction now. I know. Billy and Billy are done.
I just think it's so. We know what Chelsea did to him when they first met, and whether it was a man that did that to a woman or a woman that did that to a man or a man that did it to a man or a woman did it to the person that did that to someone should never somehow come full circle into a relationship. That is so dysfunctional and so unhealthy and so like that's literally like succumbing to your perpetrator.
Gotcha.
It just makes me sick.
Yeah.
But he did say in an article, Jason Thompson did say in an article that he knows that this storyline is going to trigger a lot of people one way or the other. And it really did. It triggered me. I have a friend who actually, for some reason, thought it would be a good idea to marry her stalker. And I mean, here we are years later, but it's just really odd.
Yeah, it's a whole different mentality. That's where the whole Stockholm syndrome comes
Yeah, yeah. It's
from. And I've seen it close in families where the abused protect or even try to cater to the abuser because they've been psychologically manipulated so deeply.
Yep. Yeah. It's very, very heartbreaking.
Yep, I've seen it. So, but they've eventually, got away from the situation, thank God.
Yes.
But it also required counseling after.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so grateful for mental health counseling because many, many people need it. Unfortunately, not everybody takes advantage of it.
Right. Exactly. Okay. But yeah, the writing was on the wall, especially at Christmas. Billy just blew off Lily, that freaking let's stand in the cold.
That New Year's Eve really ticked me off.
And then at Christmas, you spend time with your two exes. I mean, you have, are you okay, Trey?
I'm sorry. I took a drink and my drink went down the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
Okay, all good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he decided to spend time with his two exes. You decide to spend time with Victoria and Chelsea and your arch nemesis Adam at Society.
When you have beautiful Lily, I mean, what is wrong with you?
Why didn't you call Lily and say, hey, we're over at Society? Because she would have felt included.
Bingo.
And at least, because I wouldn't see Lily having a problem being there, even though Victoria and, Chelsea was there. She would have been by Billy's side.
Yeah, and that was about the kids. That was all. Connor wanted to invite Johnny and Johnny wanted to go. It was about the kids.
Exactly. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's a wrap. Billy it's over. And I don't know what happened in that counseling session on Friday.
They looked like they got hit by a truck in the beginning of their scenes together. They were literally shell-shocked.
Well, here's my thing. Counseling is work. They only have one session.
Right.
And then they were ready to call it quits.
That's what I was saying, is that maybe because of all the questions that the therapist was asking or the counselor was asking, maybe they just realized that it would be futile efforts because there's nothing else in common.
All I can say about couples counseling, and from what I've heard and just seeing people doing it, you have to get a counselor who is objective, who's going to stay in the middle and not take sides with one of the people.
Right.
And you gotta go into couples counseling with an open mind. Because there's things that your significant other is going to say that you might not like, but you gotta listen.
Yep.
And then there's things that you're going to say that your significant other got to listen to too. It's work. Nobody goes to couple counseling thinking like, you know what, we're going to be great and it's going to be fun. No, it's work.
Yes, it is work. And even without counseling, relationships are work. I mean, for crying out loud.
Exactly. But they didn't even give it a chance. They went in there one day and said it's over.
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
I gotta go.
Yeah, but
and then the phone rang to Lily, and there it was, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel is, I don't know. I think Lily and Daniel pretty much have had their bite at the apple. I don't really see that connection now.
I didn't see a spark at all.
And I think it's because this Daniel came back different.
Yeah, he's been beaten down,
Yeah,
his
let's talk
character.
about that because he talked about this week about what happened.
Yeah, but I
What do
think there's got to be something more. Like, we still don't know the details, because what would you have done? Like, I can see, like, if, okay, a spouse is somewhat jealous of their partner's success when they're not doing well, that could be attributed to human nature, immaturity, self-centeredness, narcissism. But what would you have done to your daughter that would have pushed her away? Because I don't know, because I've never
I
been
don't know how
witness
old.
to that firsthand ever in real life. I've seen the
Okay, so
parents
I
fall
will
apart.
say sometimes, I will say, without pointing genders or anything like that, sometimes kids are influenced by a parent saying bad things about the other parent,
Okay, now that
not knowing the
I've seen
full
that.
story.
Okay, yeah, I've seen.
Because it has come out years later when that kid who's now grown up speak to the parent and get that parent side of the story,
Yep,
they realize that there maybe have been some lies being told.
right.
Because somebody, usually when you got two angry parents, there's so much anger there that sometimes the truth kind of escapes the conversation. Does
That
that make
makes sense.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
When cooler heads prevail, then you tend to be able to think a lot clearly and hopefully watch what you say.
Yeah,
But a lot of times, what can happen is that a parent can influence a child's opinion of the other parent because they're angry at that significant other. That's why I'm a
yeah.
fan of, because I've had these types of conversations, especially, when my kids were younger and with other parents, is the relationship that your child have with you and the relationship that child have with that other parent. You got to get out of the way of that.
Absolutely.
Now, unless there's physical stuff,
Any kind of abuse, then the
any type
deal's
of,
off.
yeah, any type of stuff like that,
Yeah,
you have to, if it's it's two separate relationships now, especially if they're not together, right?
yeah,
If as long as that there's none of that stuff, you gotta let that kid have a relationship with that other parent. They have the right to that.
they do. Absolutely agree.
That's part of who they are. Now, you might not, as the adult, you might not like that other person for whatever issues. That's between the two of you. That kid is in the middle of both of you, and they love both of you.
Yeah,
So,
it's just so not fair for the kid.
yeah, just I can talk about that stuff forever. I do it all the time outside of the soap world. But the thing is that in this situation, because he gave great news to Heather.
Yeah.
He said, "Listen, I'm about to head up one of the biggest gaming industries for Chancellor-Winters, blah blah blah." And she spoke. I don't know how old Lucy is in this stage of the game for the soaps,
Yeah.
but she said Lucy's not ready. Ready for
Yeah.
what?
Ready for what? Exactly. What does that mean?
Why not stay out of that? Let her know.
And
She should have said, "Oh, okay, I'll let Lucy know." And then if she wants to talk, I'll let do whatever. But she spoke for her. So, I don't know. I just I'm different when it comes to that whole child parent dynamic. I've seen the heartache that come from that. I just did not I wasn't cool with that part.
pretty controlling. And I do remember Heather's character was extremely self-righteous.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Paul's daughter, what are you going to expect? Very self-righteous, very I'm a lawyer, so my opinion is the right opinion, and I've got my textbooks to back me up kind of personality. I never understood how they put Daniel and Heather together in the first place, because her character was so not that type, not his.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they did, and here we are later. So, but I think you're right. I think to just speak for the kid, because I want to say I'd put money on it that that kid is going to be aged to like between 10 and 13.
Yeah, I think so too.
That is the age where you're talking to your kid. I mean, the kid's not stupid. Show some respect to your children too.
Right. I mean, it's one thing if I wouldn't think that a 2 or 3-year-old would be interested in the fact that he's an IPO,
No, they
work
would just
with.
want daddy.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for her to say, well, Lucy's not ready. Ready. Now, let's flip it a little bit because we're speaking from that side.
Yes.
Unless there are some things that we don't know and this is not the full story.
Right.
What else did
Got
Daniel do
verbally
that we
abusive.
didn't know? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
because I know I don't want to sound polarizing
Right.
to the audience. There could be a flip side to this that we don't know what else Daniel did.
Exactly.
So that could be, yeah. So we'll have to see it. I mean, they're pushing him to Lily because him and Lily is going to have some time. Not a lot of time on Monday. Excuse me. But because of the breakup and then the expose of Audra, because Lily fires Audra immediately on Monday.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Oh, girl, you're going to enjoy Monday.
I can't wait.
So between finding out that she had not only one mole, but two, and then the breakup of Billy, it's going to now have her in a very vulnerable situation where she's going to have to talk to somebody. And that one person that she's going to be able to talk to right now is Daniel.
Yeah, because they have the history. It's true.
Yeah, but I can't get I think because they're older now, I just don't see the connection there. When they were kids, it was fun and cool. And,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But now I just don't see it.
No, there's no spark at all. It's like, it would be better if Sally hadn't been pregnant and maybe they would have tried something with him and Sally, but I don't see the spark there with Lily at all.
Nope. Okay, so we also saw this week that Danny and that conversation with Cricket. What did you think about that?
Well, I mean, so in that conversation, everyone on threads are saying like Danny and Cricket reunite. Well, she just said she and Paul were doing great. They just got back from some trip. Is that going to be a lie?
Well, here's the thing. That's what they have put in the spoilers. And I usually trust SOD because SOD has connections with, different things that the producers give them. What I'm learning is that sometimes they give them things to throw us off. Because the way that they framed it was that she was going to leave with him. And then what we saw was something totally different. Now, does that entice people? I don't want to call it false advertising because I think SOD is awesome. They really give to the point spoilers. So I don't think it's their fault.
They do use the right words.
Right. They use certain words to kind of frame your thinking. That's why I usually, when I see the spoilers, because I do them, I post them on the weekends and stuff like that. I will say that I look for it to play out. So, like, when they said, what was the spoiler for this week? See, one spoiler and I'll give you one spoiler that went left. There was a spoiler that came out saying that on Friday for the Bold and the Beautiful, there was going to be an unexpected couple kiss. And Go
ahead, I'm sorry.
And all across social media, I didn't report it because I'm like, I don't know. I try to have as much integrity as possible because I don't like, how they had these all outlandish videos about stuff that don't make sense. That I don't do that type of thing. And so when I saw that, I'm like, I'm going to just sit back and wait on that one. I'm not going to even talk about that. However, other vlogs and bloggers did. And so they tried to say that it was going to be Taylor and Brooke.
Which, I mean, come on, people. Get real. These are two straight women aren't going to just kiss out of the blue. There's no indication they're bi. There's no indication that they're lesbians. And quite frankly, if they were, they'd be a beautiful couple. But they're not.
Oh, so did you see all that across
I
Facebook?
saw that too, and I rolled my eyes. I was like, this is just so stupid because
And I
two lifelong straight women that have never, ever, ever, ever had any tiny single word, hint, direction toward being a lesbian has never been shown. And I get it that it takes a long time for some people to come out. And, that's, of course, everyone's individual prerogative. But in this storyline, these two characters are straight. And so it just kind of annoyed me, and it made me feel that people were making light of the real opportunity to have a gay or lesbian relationship on a soap opera. And I've seen some of the things that people have posted about Mariah and Tessa along the way. And I just think that that was just a tasteless rumor to throw out there. It was a useless.
Yeah, I didn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I saw it last weekend when I was doing my spoilers for this past week, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna just let it play out. I was thinking like, who is it referring to? And what it ended up being was Katie and Carter.
Exactly, exactly. And quite frankly, with the state of the world, the LGBTQIA community didn't really need that kind of a rumor going around, even if it was for a soap story. You know,
Yeah, it was pretty
I didn't care
interesting to
for
say
it.
the least. And I think a lot of people went there because of the fact that when we saw them hugging the week before, they were talking about how good they feel in each other's arms, and then they
Because
had
this whole time they could have been sisters. They could
right,
have been
and then
friends. They could have been confidants, but
and,
they weren't because of a man.
and then they turn around and saying how we don't need men in our lives and things like that. So a lot of people kind of, and when that whole leak of the storyline about Friday's episode was like an unexpected couple will kiss, it just went there. And all of the speculations,
Well,
all
and
of the
some of the
rumors.
comments were, I mean, there was some really bigoted things that were being said, and I just was, I was,
Try to steer clear of that.
disgusted.
Yeah, I worry about my inner peace. I just stay away from
You
drama
just have to
like that.
leave the page because it just makes me sick. Just stop with the, stop with the hate. No hate. There was a campaign that a lot of the soap stars participated in years back, and it was the no hate campaign where they did the no and then the H and then the eight sideways, and it was no hate campaign with the remember the duct tape over their mouth, and
Yeah,
that I should have just posted a reminder of that, but I mean I don't know. I just think people feel free to spew stuff online when you don't have to be accountable for it.
yeah. Well, let's kind of switch gears because of the fact that there was a whole lot of kissing and loving with one couple, and that was Devon and Abby.
That was a lot.
Yeah, they're really trying to sell this couple.
So did you see more chemistry this time?
I just, I don't, not me. I'm
See,
sorry.
I wanted to, but I didn't.
I didn't. I mean, and they're giving them the sensuality and the music and being on the couch, and you can tell that they're really trying to sell this
Yeah.
couple.
But I mean, I just see two friends who are lost right now.
Yeah, that's it. I just don't. I mean, even I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, you and I, we're tall, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm 5'10". What are you, 5'11"?
Right under 5'11", yeah.
Exactly. And I don't. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Well, I will just tell you this, and this is only the opinion of Trish.
Hmm.
I had a lot of insecurities growing up being taller
I
than
agree.
everybody for a
I
long time,
agree.
from like ninth grade on.
Hmm.
And in college, people said, "Oh, it'll be different in college. There's a lot, men take their growth spurt, blah blah blah. There will be more tall men in college." So when I went off to college, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm gonna date a tall man that's taller than me. I don't want to be the big girl. It had
Hmm.
nothing to do. My decision, and it was a decision. And I actually had on air when I was a DJ, my fellow DJ asked me if I would ever, it wasn't on air, it was right before we were going on air. And he looked over at me and he said, Trish, would you ever consider dating a man shorter than you? And I said, no, without hesitation. And it wasn't because of the men who are shorter than me. It's because I am this tall woman and I don't want to look like the Jolly Green Giant or a huge human next to someone. I wanted that scale. That's just me. That's my own insecurities. So when you say that, I completely get it. I, as a tall woman, myself and my brain is most comfortable dating someone that I either see eye to eye to or I look up at. And if I wear
How
heels,
tall is your husband?
6'3".
I figured as much.
Yeah.
I figured as much. I mean,
and there are beautiful men out there who are 5 feet tall, 5'7", 5'4", 5'9", beautiful, beautiful, sensual, gorgeous, intelligent men. But my own insecurities are mine, and that's just me.
Yeah, I get it. When I was married, he was 6'1". And as you guys know, that he passed on. Actually, it'll be 10 years coming up next Wednesday. Yes. Anybody that I dated after that, it's usually been 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
Yep.
Now, in this particular case, I think maybe what they're trying to do is to say it's about how you feel about the person versus.
It is.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because I do know couples where the guy may be a little bit shorter. Same. I mean, I will say I have dated somebody that was 5'9".
Yep.
And we're still friends to this day, even though we're not in a relationship. But, they're great people of all heights.
All shapes and sizes. And again, my stuff is my stuff, and it has nothing to do with
anybody else.
Not intended to hurt or insult anyone else. It's my own insecurities of what I have.
And I actually looked up both Brighton James and Melissa Ordway, and they're actually the same height. They're actually both 5'8". I think Melissa Ordway wear heels.
Yes, yes, and they're like 4-inch heels.
Right. She like her heels, and when you're 5'8" and you put on heels, that puts you close to 6 feet.
I did think she was our height.
Yeah, actually, she's only 5'8". I mean, for a girl, that's still up there.
Yeah, I think Michelle Stafford's 5'9".
Yeah, and Michelle is tall too.
And Eileen Davidson is tall.
Yep.
And like Elizabeth Hendrickson, who plays Chloe, she's tiny and petite.
Yes, she is. Let me see. How tall is Michelle Stafford? Height. Michelle Stafford is 5'8", actually.
Oh, wow. I thought somewhere I'd read she was.
Sharon is 5'7". Yeah. So Melissa Claire Egan is 5'3".
Yeah. I have a sister who's 5'3".
I would have thought that Michelle wear a lot of heels too.
Yeah, she does.
She does. So that'll definitely put her close to the 6 feet.
Yeah.
Anywho, I know we got off, but that's
okay. They're just all beautiful people.
Yeah, I'm chemistry there with Abby and Devon. Even though they're trying the little sex scenes, they give more energy to their sex scenes than anybody on that show.
They were having a good scene.
Yeah, the scene was good, but those two, they just like good friends.
I know. And it's not that good friends can't become lovers.
Right. It just looked like a plug.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It's like friends with benefits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, I know somebody might differ and say, hey, I think they're hot.
Okay, yeah, cool. They absolutely. I mean, they're both beautiful people.
All right, we got one other storyline we need to talk about before going over to Bold. And the whole thing, and we kind of touched on this a little bit. No, we didn't. Did we talk about Stark?
We didn't talk about Kyle, Summer, Diane, Jack, or Stark yet.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah, and I'm
So,
so annoyed with this whole Diane thing. It's just annoying.
oh, of course we know that. Trish.
Ah, ah, wah, wah.
Trish is definitely not a fan of Diane
No,
Jenkins.
I do. I am a fan. I love to hate her.
I
I
gotcha.
love Susan Walters.
What I don't like is that Jack is going down the rabbit hole. He's going in the deep end now, especially with this whole proving to Jeremy Stark her loyalty by stealing from Nikki Newman.
This is just absolute ridiculousness.
Jack should know better not to mess with Victor Newman's wife.
I mean, seriously, seriously.
Ooh, girl, I was done at that point. I'm like, yeah, she want to try to get with her son, but this whole thing with Jeremy not believing her, dude, you just got out of jail.
Yep,
You need to be worried about going back because one call over your parole officer, you're done.
exactly.
So why they even playing into this? Like, oh, I need to prove to you to get it. He ain't going nowhere. If the man wanted to leave, he would leave.
Well, and not only that, if she stole his money, Jack offered him in the money, and he didn't take the money, or he has the money, but hasn't
He
decided
well, he
to
still
keep the
got
money.
what does he got? $500,000 already.
Yeah,
He didn't give it back yet. He told Jack that he did not want the money thing. He wants
so
Diane, but you didn't get the money back.
but yet it's all become about Diane. And in the soaps, these stories so often do this where they're so focused on one character. What
Uh-huh.
makes that character so special? You know what I'm saying? Like, why does that character attract everybody to them? They're not special. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
making them so special? So to me, what makes Diane so special that Jack is ready to just forgive everything and act like everything's fabulous because she's back and she said she's trying when there's really been just lie after lie after lie exposed every week,
Mm-hmm.
or every other week. And then this guy comes out of prison and it's like all about Diane. It's what does she have? Some kind of gold innards that we don't know about? Is she
Girl,
laying
you
golden
so
eggs?
funny.
I mean, what
Did
is
you say some gold innards?
I did.
Oh my God, you are hilarious. Gold innards. Okay.
I
Well,
mean, just what is some of these characters, what are they supposed to have? What's the magic potion that they have that makes everybody so hyper focused on them? It's
girl,
interesting.
I don't know. It to me, this whole thing is just it's just spiraling out of control.
Totally. Where are they going to go? And Summer and Kyle are going to be screwed over because of this, because of course.
Mhm. So, well, let me ask you this: what about Phyllis guilt tripping Summer?
Oh, I love it.
You like her guilt tripping her daughter?
I actually do. Yeah.
Why?
Because Summer is just absolutely fallen over backwards for this woman who ruined her mother's life. I mean, I don't care who you're married to. You can't just sit back and be okay with that. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago. Uh, there's no way that if you have a good relationship with your mother, and this scenario went down, there's not an instance that you would not, at the very least, listen to your mother and hear what she's saying. Whereas Summer has until she finally admitted what she just admitted, she is basically rolled over for all the stories, all the lies, everything, knowing full well what that woman did to the woman that gave birth to her, and what she did to her husband, and what she did to Jack. So I'm glad Phyllis is doing that with Summer. I think Summer needs to have the cobwebs shaken out of her brain right now and get
Well, don't get too comfortable because Daniel lays the law on Phyllis on his sister being in an impossible position. The problem is Phyllis is making it look like she's helping Diane when technically what this is her supporting her husband. I've always said this, Kyle is the catalyst in all of
he
this.
absolutely is. But
And
I'm
so,
thinking from the perspective of how Phyllis thinks.
well, she'll get chin checked on Monday
I bet.
by her son, and then she's going to go back and apologize to her daughter next week.
Yeah.
And I know you might not like that,
No,
but
no, no. I want their relationship fixed. So
because honestly, she's in an impossible position.
she is.
I mean, she has a family with Kyle. She has her adopted son, her husband. Her husband has a very polarizing mother, but so does she. And the thing is that Diane is doing things, of course, that is to the detriment of this relationship. But
Absolutely.
so is Phyllis. And that's the thing. If she left well enough alone, stop talking to Talia Morgan and working with her on that. This whole evil coven, as Diane called it, and they've been working on that. And then you go and anonymously bring Stark back to Genoa City. Stay out of that. Then your daughter has nothing to point to. Because if Jeremy Stark came to town on his own, that's all on Diane. All of it.
Well,
But
and
because
Diane going after Nikki, she forgets Nikki is Summer's grandmother.
mm-hmm.
So how are you going to worm your way out of that ridiculous?
Oh, you talking about the larceny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing I don't agree with. That they lost me right there when she came back to Jack and at the coffee house and said, I have to commit a crime to prove to Jeremy that I'm on his side. And Jack was like, okay. I'm like, are you stupid or are you
Your
stupid?
mind.
And then you pick the worst person to go after.
Right.
Victor's
Although maybe she didn't,
wife.
because we know that Victor's security's not good. So
Well, hey, Jack has zero. That's
right,
the other thing. Jack would have, if this was Victor, Victor got people everywhere.
right.
Jack, nobody.
I know.
Because he don't know where his left hand and his right hand is doing, and he's only going by what Diane is telling him. So I'm when he said when she actually brought that to the table to say, hey, I need to pick somebody to commit a crime against so I can prove to Jeremy that I'm this, that, and the third. You about to go to jail for grand larceny, and this dude will be on the street somewhere.
Right.
And Jack, you about to be an accomplice to it.
Yeah.
No, girl, I was so done. I'm like, I'm over it. I am over this.
It's crazy.
Can we find something else to talk about? Because
Absolutely.
this whole rabbit hole is just ridiculous. Well, look like spoiler alert because Tucker has lost everything. Um, Phyllis got first row seat of Jack and Diane kissing at the Abbott house. They're about to burn Genoa City down.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch.
That's going to be fun to watch. Now, I don't know if that means that they're going to put, because I've heard speculations over the past couple weeks that both Phyllis and Tucker are supposed to become an item.
Oh,
I don't know if maybe they misspeculated by being rivals against the town or actually in a romantic relationship, but they will be working together.
interesting.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I would definitely watch that.
Now, I'm glad that it took Daniel to kind of work this thing out with her daughter because she don't trust Diane. She don't like Diane. She's just going along with her husband.
Yeah.
But for her to say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna fix this relationship. Yeah, I'm okay with that because now she has to be like, you know what, I shouldn't did this to you.
Exactly.
I don't like that whole thing about guilt tripping your kids because you're their mom.
Not in real life. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I
No.
can't stand that.
That's disgusting. But in this, it's entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, soap world is different. Okay, and then oh yeah, we kind of combined both of those storylines together, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I think
We
we,
covered everything.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to bowl, girl.
All right.
Okay. Oh God. You see how we kind of like,
Well, I mean, it's like the only thing I can think of right now is that Ozzy Osbourne song Crazy Train.
oh, girl, this whole thing is a hot mess. Okay, so Bill gave Steffi, this is for the week of January 2nd through January 6th on the Bold and the Beautiful. Bill gave Steffi an ultimatum that could destroy her family, then turn Sheila into the police. Katie hailed Bill as a hero. Steffi questioned whether Bill has changed his mind. Mike and Lee visit Sheila in jail. Bill arranged a jailhouse visit to find out if he and Sheila were for real. Where you want to go?
I mean, we may as well just jump right into the whole Bill Sheila thing and get it over with because it's insane. I mean, I even on one post somebody had said it's not Bill, it's a look-alike, and I was like, well, I mean, maybe if it is Bill, maybe she has him hypnotized, and every time the name Sheila is said, he turns into mush or something. I mean, nothing makes sense. This is so stupid. I'm just I guess I'm bothered by the whole storyline.
Yeah, the whole thing is just a hot mess. And I know that after November sweeps with the Thomas, CPS, the wedding of Ridge and Taylor, all of that, because the viewership was through the roof in November. They
Yep.
had to come up with something because when that storyline ended, everything just fell flat.
It did. It truly fell to the floor.
Which is the fault of the writers because you have to keep continuity in order to keep your audience interested.
And thank you for using the word continuity because there is nothing about this storyline that has any continuity. These two characters do not belong together. They should have never been brought together. Bill would have never helped this woman. I don't care how depressed. I don't care. The answer is no. He would have never, ever helped Sheila Carter. It doesn't matter emotional state. So this whole I'm just if I hadn't watched the show since the very beginning and been so invested in this show, if I was like a recent viewer, like maybe the last 3 to 5 years, I might stop watching. That's how annoyed at this storyline.
Well, it should get pretty interesting next week because Sheila Carter's hearing begins. So, I mean, I'm hoping that kind of switches this up, but this whole sick, twisted, out of nowhere romance with Bill,
it's just
it's too many gaping holes, and they tried to patch a hole up on yesterday, talking about how Sheila saw him at the bar and he walked to the beach and they talked all night.
That's not even duct tape, Letitia. That's Scotch tape. I mean,
that whole thing was just a weak attempt to try to cover up the bad writing.
I mean, it almost makes me think that, you know how you have like fish bowls and people pick an option and put the word into that one area of a story and that then they have to go with that part of the story. Is that called Mad Libs? Remember Mad Libs?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's how this storyline feels to me. Is Mad Libs, where you put a word in a blank. You have to come up with a noun or an adjective or, whatever, and you fill in the blank. And then you read the story and, oh, it's funny because you've asked people for nouns or verbs or what have, or adjectives, and they've given them to you without knowing what the sentence structure is. And that's the word you have to use. And then you have goofy stories that you're reading back. I feel like that's what this Sheila Bill storyline is.
Girl, the whole darn thing is just absolute stupidity. Because we were shown two different scenes with both these characters.
Yep.
For weeks, we saw Deacon and Sheila sleeping with each other. And then on the flip side, we saw Bill begging Brooke and Katie. And all of a sudden, him and Sheila has been together for weeks after they met at the beach and talked all night. Come on.
Absolutely ridiculous. Is this real? Is this real, Sheila? I just rolled my eyes. I was like, I can't believe I'm
supposed to believe that they have been sexing each other after she was already sexing sexing Deacon.
Right. And two, I mean, just the there's no way no, it's just, this whole thing is just a no. I feel like Simon Cowell, it's a no for me.
Girl, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like I've been punked or I'm being
Thank you. Yes.
or gaslit because I know what I saw, but
Yep.
then you're trying to show me a different, a alternate reality, and it's like, come on, it
I mean,
doesn't
you
make
can do
sense.
that. I'm sorry.
What?
You can do that when you're aging soap characters, but you cannot bring in a storyline that is diametrically opposed to where everything else was heading. And I get that you have stuff come out of left field, but this wasn't out of left field. This was out of a field in another country.
Okay, so here's the other thing that didn't make sense because she couldn't leave the house. Remember, she only snuck out like one or two times, right?
Exactly.
Because Deacon was like, "You don't want nobody to see you. How are you sitting and wandering to the beach as Sheila Carter without being spotted by anybody?" And then Bill, who was the same dude that turned you into the police the first time, flew out
Took care of.
Finn.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then he's just gonna be like, "I'm gonna have a conversation
Saved
because I'm
Lee.
lonely."
He saved Lee.
Right, but now all of a sudden, because he is so lonely, come on.
Yeah, it's absolute ridiculousness.
And the whole thing with Bill and Katie and Carter, that was like the third week of December, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he had this whole argument. And then he was just the week of Christmas or New Year's pissed off because he was setting. Remember, Liam came over to the house and he
Mm-hmm.
was like, Katie is coming home for good. And he was doing all this stuff around the house. Katie came over there. She told him no. And then Carter picked her up and then she left. That was a week and a half ago.
Right.
And now you're saying you've been dealing with Sheila for the last several weeks because you've been lonely? Come on.
Get real. I know.
Writers, stop. As they say, stop the cap.
Have it like someone needs to wake up from a dream like they did in Dallas with JR. I mean, somebody needs to wake up from a dream because this is just stupid.
It's stupid.
And I don't see, I've seen very few comments online going, oh, this is great.
Because it doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense.
I mean, granted, it's a TV show, it's a soap opera, it's fictional, but a lot of times storylines gravitate into a next one because it makes sense.
Exactly.
This doesn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just dropped the ball on the whole thing with Thomas. If they really wanted to do something crazy with Bill, leave Sheila out of it and say, which is what everybody was speculating,
Mm-hmm.
that Thomas was going to take his money and his shares and go over the bills. They just dropped the ball on that one.
Yep. And that would have been, a Thomas and Bill coming together would have made more sense.
Oh my God, that would have been great.
Just absolute ridiculousness. And look, I get that Kimberlyn Brown has a lot of fans out there.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. She's a good actress. There's no question. But this character, there's nowhere to go but to jail. There's no forgiveness. And the fact that they're saying on the show, well, Steffy and Finn may not press charges. It's not up to Steffy or Finn to press charges at this point. She was a fugitive. The police, the DA is the one that's going to decide what charges are pressed.
Mm-hmm.
So they think we're stupid. And I really wish there was some kind of a topical expert that they would have consulted with before going down this road, because Finn and Steffy have no say as to what the charges are.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I can think, they're really about to take this strictly fictional. Because in the real world, the DA call the shots. It doesn't matter if somebody press charges. It's the people versus whatever.
Bingo.
In this scenario, I think they just want to play it out for the drama of it all.
But there could still be so much drama without insulting our intelligence and annoying us
Yeah,
with things like this that are absolutely
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep. Here's the other thing. They could have went a different direction by swaying Finn. If Sheila said, brought up the whole thing, how Steffi shot her for no reason in 2017.
Yeah,
If Sheila said, well, I don't know if you realize this, Finn, but she shot me for no reason when I was helping her grandfather, or whatever reason it was. I
she was in
forgot.
Liam's suite though, and she. I remember. I think Steffi wasn't sure if she was there to hurt them, and she was in defense mode.
I
Now,
actually
she
have
did
that
shoot her.
video. Yeah, I actually have that video on my channel. The
Yeah,
thing
take a look
is,
at it and let me know because I'd like
oh
to.
yeah, I actually did a commentary on it. I'll send you the video.
Thank
But
you.
oh, no problem. But what it was is that Steph well, Eric was consistently telling her, meaning Steffi, nothing's going on. She's here to help me. And she was telling her the same thing. Of course, Steffi, being persistent, didn't want to listen. Eric told her to leave. You need to go talk to your father. That's because Quinn and Ridge had got involved.
Yeah,
And so he was so pissed off that his son betrayed him, his wife did whatever.
again.
And so he took a hiatus away in this rundown hotel. Sheila happened to be living there or staying there, and they crossed paths, and he allowed Sheila to be his help.
That's right.
And what happened is Steffi, as usual, persistent, jumping up, and she always. And I said the same thing with Lee in my recap. You always calling this woman dangerous, but you got no problem jumping in her face.
Right.
If she's so dangerous, wait a minute, hold on. Somebody quoted something that I took a picture of yesterday, and it made so much sense. What was that statement? Oh, I don't want to select anything. It says the more common response to fear is avoidance.
Yeah. Not
So if you're
confrontation.
really what'd you say?
Not confrontation.
Not confrontation. The hey, you can't say it. The more common response for fear is you're really afraid of this woman, and you think she's dangerous. Why are you not avoiding her?
Exactly.
But no, Steffi jumps up in her face. I mean, it's twice Finn had to pull this girl to get away from Sheila. When they were at Il Giardino, she tried to chase after her.
Yep.
And then Finn was like, hey, remember the last time you did that?
Right. Didn't go over so well.
Exactly. It put a bullet in your husband's gut. And then the other thing is that she when they got ready to leave her house, Bill and Sheila, she wanted to run after again, and Finn had to pull her back. It's
Yep.
like, are you stupid? Are you stupid?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
seriously. So, yeah, going back to the whole thing. I mean, if she could really shake and Finn up and say, "Hey, I don't know if you noticed, but your wife shot me for no reason after me helping her grandfather." No, it's just so many things that they could have used instead of putting Taylor in this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell if she goes to jail, then guess what? Your mom is going to jail for shooting me in the back. Yeah, that whole it's just girl. Mm-mm. You got quiet on me, Trish. What's up?
I just I I just wish that we could sit in a room with the writers and go over a few things with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know that will never happen for me, but
I'm
I would
hoping to
love
get
it.
that opportunity again because I had an opportunity to do where they took questions from people with
Mhm.
regards to. I'm hoping for that.
Excellent. Well, I think for you, you could possibly really have that opportunity because of what you've been doing for so long here and doing it
Mm-hmm.
so well. So I look forward to hearing more about how that path progresses. But I just think that, you know, a lot of us have years invested in these shows, and we want great, compelling storylines, but we don't want to be made to look like fools for watching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just think, you know, this is a different time in the world, and women, while we still want the beauty and the romance and the you know, the shoots that are on location and the beautiful scenarios, we want more from scenes now. We want reality in the relationships. We want women to have powerful friendships that can be displayed, that we can see. You know, and I don't think that some of these storylines don't take any of that into consideration. And that's just my 2 cents about the haywireness of what we're seeing.
I just don't like the fact that it don't make sense. It's just, you can't sell us for the last 3-4 months Bill chasing Katie and Brooke
Mhm.
and Sheila sleeping with Deacon, only to say, hey, Bill and Sheila has been doing the do. It just
Right.
doesn't make sense.
Right. And I should add too that I didn't mean to say or imply that only women watch soap operas, because obviously men do too. I was only speaking from my point of view as a woman as to what, you know, I think we look for in TV today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I know quite a few men this was.
Yeah, definitely.
One of them we actually had when you and of course I think Keisha might have been out and you were off.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So anywho, then we got Bill kind of faking the funk with Katie, because Katie sees him as a hero, whereas Katie, of course, don't know the full story.
I mean, so in his eyes, could you kind of see a little bit of reality smacking him while that scene was happening? Like, yeah, what am I doing with this Sheila stuff? You know, I don't know. I mean, I just, as Don Diamont as an actor, is
Hmm.
he has, I mean, I think he does a really great job in his character. This is so out of character that I think maybe even he as a person is like, what in the world is Bill doing? Like, this is insane. Not that
Well,
I could
the
speak
thing,
for him or that I know him. I don't.
when he was Brad, he had a softer approach. When
Yeah.
they switched him over to Bold, he was this billionaire mogul.
Well, yeah, he was a gardener and a pool guy at the Abbotts to start with there, so he was very humble.
He was right, so obviously it shows that he can play polarizing roles.
Yep.
But one thing I will say that kind of twins Katie is that sword necklace. Why the French toast do they want him to take that necklace off?
And
Now
it's a
I
necklace. I mean, give me a
it's
break.
and you need to take that necklace off. You don't need that. And it's like that's why he's doing what he's doing. You gotta
Yep.
let that. I mean, as crazy as it is, and Bill have done some crazy things. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But he's the villain on the show, just like
Yes.
Victor Newman is.
Right.
Nikki doesn't try to change Victor after all these years.
Not anymore.
She let Victor be Victor. I don't care how many times she slept with other men.
Yep.
She broke up with them. She sided with Jack. At the end of the day, she realized that you cannot change Victor Newman.
Nope.
And for Katie and Brooke to want him to be this soft guy, it just is not reality. That ain't who Bill is. He came to the show as being the villain.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did.
So for him, just take that sword necklace off. You don't need that. What do you need protection from? I'm like, girl, listen, you're with Carter.
Go be with
And
Carl.
I understand I don't agree with the Sheila thing with Bill and all of that, but it's like, why are you telling people what to do? You don't have, only thing you have with this man is the co-parenting of your son.
Right.
And that's exactly what he's talking about. Stop trying to change me. I want you to like me for me.
Yes.
And if you don't like Bill, then don't be bothered with him. Bill is crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
But if you sign up for crazy, you got to know what you're dealing with.
Bingo.
Sheila knows what she's dealing with, I think.
Well, I think she knows what she's dealing with because she knows that she's dealing with crazy, but I don't think Bill knows what he's dealing with because he thinks he's dealing with crazy when he's dealing with insane. And there's a difference.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
And I know you go way back with Sheila. Yes, Sheila. I was going to say Diane, but Sheila. When anytime that Sheila Carter hurt somebody or did something to somebody, was it because she did it initially, or was it a reaction to somebody else?
It's about half and half.
Okay.
The reason that people react to Sheila is because she did it. And so they don't trust her to not do it again. So they're never going to give her the benefit of the doubt because she always does it again. Now, whether she does it again because she's just doing it again, which to me, coming and showing up at someone's wedding, to me, knowing full well how the Forresters feel about you, that was a frontal assault. That was an act of violence because she knew exactly how Steffi would feel. So to me, whenever you talk about Steffi reacting and going at her, Steffi's reacting and going at her because she feels like she doesn't have another choice because no one else has been able to get rid of her, not even her. So while, yes, Steffi should be afraid of her, she says she's afraid of her, she shouldn't go near her, she does that because it is she who's actually reacting because Sheila starts it all. Because Sheila showed up in the first place where she wasn't wanted, she wasn't invited. People there hated her. And to me, that was an attack on a sovereign state because she went to the Forrester house and she put herself in a place that she had no business meaning. She was where she was not meant to be. She was trespassing and she knew full well she wasn't welcome and wasn't liked and was not wanted there and had destroyed their lives before. And so regardless of what's happening right now, the seeds of Sheila Carter sow toxic fruit from the very beginning.
Well, here's the interesting thing, because the common denominator in these situations are the men bringing her in.
Yeah, what
So
makes
she
her
was
so special?
involved.
Like, what
Yeah,
is that? Because
I
I don't
mean,
get it.
if you go back, Eric brought her into this situation. The psychiatrist guy, she was with him.
Yep,
All the babies that she didn't have with these guys on the show.
yep,
Now, if you want to fast forward, Deacon and Mike Guthrie and now Bill, and so as much
yep.
as they don't want her there, the men are bringing her back into the fold.
I don't get it.
Well, I had a conversation with a guy who watches the show, and I'm not speaking for all men, and he's not speaking for all men either. But I have heard that sometimes men like crazy because it's
Everything
crazy.
else is crazy. Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Which, from what we heard from Deacon, Deacon thinks it's off the chain.
yeah.
When you're dealing with that, when you're dealing with somebody like that, everything in their life is crazy,
Extreme. Yeah,
extreme. So, as much as the women want Sheila gone, the men keep bringing her.
they
And
do.
Eric has done that multiple times.
You are
Multiple times.
correct. He has.
So what they need to do is start having some. If they don't want this woman to keep coming around, y'all need to talk to the guys and be like, look, this woman's creating havoc, but y'all keep bringing back in, being friends with her,
Yep,
sleeping with her, all of this whole kind of stuff. She ain't going nowhere as long as those men are going to be surrounding her.
exactly.
And so speaking of that, we have Mike Guthrie this week talking. I thought he was going to be pissed at her because she left him holding the bag.
I mean, then that's the other thing. It's like these people do this stuff for this woman. Is she hypnotizing them? That's like, I don't, who in their right mind would, I mean, obviously it's a soap, but
Right.
it's just the level of, are you kidding me? Like another one or again, we're doing this again. It's
Yeah,
just,
because
I
I was
don't
like,
know.
oh yeah. When they said, "Oh, she would come face to face with Mike Guthrie," I'm like, "Oh yeah, he gonna be pissed."
And then it was another,
Girl,
oh, I'm in love with you. I love you.
exactly.
Got to be kidding me. Get out of here with that ridiculousness. You can't love someone who doesn't have a heart and can't love back. You could be obsessed with them, but
And
there is
that's
nothing called love.
that brings us to the whole conversation where Bill paid he paid the freaking deputy or whatever for privacy
Yep.
to have a conversation with Sheila trying to figure out, is this real? And I'm like, you just said in your own statement, this is a woman who you can't hurt. So if
Yeah,
she can't feel pain, do you actually think that she can feel love?
exactly.
You answered your own question, Bill. This woman is using you
Right.
as a get out of jail free card, because once she's out, she might stick around for the money, the sex, the big house. Because somewhere I read that he might even offer her a job at Spencer. But the problem is, he's going to lose everything for this girl.
Yep.
His sons,
All of them.
Katie, Brooke, he might lose Will, because there's no way, if Sheila Carter is in the house with him, that Katie is going to let Will spend time over there.
Absolutely not.
That's not going to, he's losing everything for this woman. I don't get it. This man could have any woman he wants. You're a mogul billionaire.
Exactly. Exactly.
You choose Sheila Carter.
And those types of men, from what I know, those types of men, they may be hurt by a woman, but they'll never allow a woman to bring them down. They will always just go find another one.
Yeah, because they have more options of women at that level.
It's pretty exactly. So, yeah, this is so ridiculous.
The other thing is Lee. They had tried to Kim test Bill and Lee, and they just dropped it.
I didn't see anything there. And when quite frankly, when Bill kissed Sheila, it was like,
girl, that whole blood. I can't believe one thing about The Bold and the Beautiful. They showed us that freaking Monaco scene every single time.
Yeah.
They showed us the scene in Aspen over and over again. The whole thing with the CPS thing over and over again. They like to take these scenes and replay them. And that whole blood kiss, they kept replaying it. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? This is daytime. This isn't the ID channel.
No.
This isn't Lifetime.
No.
This isn't prime time. This is daytime TV, and you got a freaking blood kiss.
Somebody put Bill's face in a.
I know. I
did you
saw
see the
that.
cape and the sword necklace? So he's gonna be a wizard.
I saw that, girl. That was hilarious. But the thing is that if I was watching Showtime, HBO, Lifetime, ID channel, something like that, I would expect to see that.
Exactly.
But on CBS daytime at in my area, 12:30 midday, no. I was like, are you serious right now?
I actually expect better writing from CBS soaps than Lifetime and that kind of stuff.
Girl, I was shocked by that. I did not expect that blood kiss. And they kept playing it over and over, and that weird music in the background.
Ugh, I know.
This is like, okay, what station am I watching?
I wonder what our flip the script is.
Oh, girl, we'll get there because we're almost done. But did you see how Sheila was coming on to Bill like this was a conjugal visit?
What? Yeah, girl, back up.
She was like, what else do you want? I'm like, what?
And that is so indicative of playing someone.
Right. And she never answered his question.
No, she did not answer his question.
Because he kept saying, is this real? How dare you ask me that? That is not answering the question.
That is not answering. It's a yes or no question.
Yeah, that she was deflecting the whole way through. Because she wants to get out of jail and stay out of jail and get her freedom.
Right.
My question is Remember, she has no heart, or she has no what's the word I want to use?
Toe? Oh,
Yeah, that too. She has no empathy.
no, she can't.
So she can't. So I could see her lying to him
Oh,
because
yeah,
I don't know why she hesitating, because normally a sociopath or a psychopath will lie to your face with a straight face.
with no problem at all. Wouldn't even
Yeah.
flinch,
Yeah, tell you what you want to hear.
pretty much.
So I'm wondering how that's gonna play out. So what else we got? We talked about Mike. We talked about Bill and Steffi. Taylor was so happy,
Yeah,
not knowing that her freedom is on the line.
yeah. I hate that. And I hate the fact that they made her the shooter of Bill. I go back to that episode, and that was just so ridiculous too.
It is. That girl, it's absolutely crazy to me. Bill arranged for the visit. Mike and Lee. Girl, why are you okay? It's one thing if you want to see the girl in prison, but this whole back and forth between Lee and Sheila, what did you think about that?
It's an obsession at this point. I think I I I hate the obsession with Sheila. I just want Sheila to be gone. Like I wanted her to go over the cliff. You know this. I'm just the storyline's played out. I don't care for it. There's nothing positive or fun. I get that she's supposed to be a villain, but it's run its course how many times now? I'm just over it.
You know what though? Unfortunately, because they haven't did a good job with bringing in more characters and things, she's the only thing that's carrying the show right now. Once they lost the Thomas storyline, they don't have anything else. You can only have Taylor and Brooke fight over Ridge so much.
But it didn't have to be this way. There could have been so many other things that they could have done storylines on
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't have to bring a character back that's thrice dead and come alive again or in jail and out
Well,
again.
thrice. Did you say thrice?
I did.
Didn't one? It's been more than that, haven't it?
Had they killed her off more than 3 times?
I thought
Once on
so.
Y&R and twice on B&B. Wait, well, I will have to look that up.
I don't know. We gotta check into that. You're right. Let's look that up because I
She's
know
died
she had.
multiple times. She's died multiple times, was supposed to be dead, and here we are.
Yep.
And again, these writers are supposed to be creative and still keep sort of real life so that we can relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is not supernatural daytime TV. This is daytime TV. Help us escape from reality, our
Right.
real life, take us on adventures. This has done none of that.
Nope.
So
Nope.
it's been a disappointment for me. I still will watch the show every day. I love the show, but it's just you just want more, you want better.
Yeah, girl. That's all. I mean, this is pretty much this whole week was focused around Bill and Sheila.
Hmm.
So I guess we can be done with that. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the show.
All right.
Let's do our flip the script and who's taking a seat. So for you guys who are new, um, our flip the script, if there's a particular scene or storyline that you wish you could change, this is where we flip the script. And then also, if there is for taking seats, somebody that you just wish to just sit down and just shut up this week. That's where who's taking the seat. All right, what you got for Young and the Restless, Trish?
Okay, so for the Y&R for my flip the script is I think it's going to have to be, this whole Diane getting away with everything. I guess maybe the flip for me would be that Jack isn't as stupid as they're making him out to be, and maybe he's part of testing her for something and it blows up in her face.
Interesting.
But I don't know. This whole thing has just gotten to a point of ridiculousness. So I would definitely have flipped that in some way, shape, or form. I'd have laughed in the past and said that, I want Jack to be alone. But the only reason I want Jack to be alone is because the writers have made him look so stupid. if they flipped the script and made him look like he was the one, doing all the puppet mastering to flush out the bad people, whoever they are, that might be a better storyline for his character. And then my take a seat is, Billy and just Victor. Billy needs to take a seat because he's just in everybody else's business, and he has been, and he needs to mind his. And Victor, because why are you constantly going at your kids and trying to control everything and going and telling them how they're supposed to live their life? Isn't that old by now? Like, have you
would think. Yep.
So that's mine for Y&R. And then for B&B, of course, my flip the script is this ridiculousness with Bill and Sheila's storyline. I would flip it into nothing because it would not exist. I would have done some different kind of storyline where Bill and Thomas actually, got together and Thomas used his 5%, Bill used all his money, and they went head to head with Forrester. And
that would have been good.
So much fun. It would have been back into the fashion world. There would have been a fashion show, possibly a remote shoot, all the good stuff. Right. With still the intrigue and the competition and that kind of thing, but just not this ludicrousness. And then the take a seat is just Sheila, take a seat, Bill take a seat, the writing team take a seat. Who else? If I was everybody in the cast, I'd be taking a seat for myself of exasperation from the storyline.
Exactly.
That's all I got. What about you?
Okay. So for The Young and the Restless, if I had to flip that script, I would have had Sally sit down with both Adam and Nicholas and say, look, this is what's going on. I'm pregnant.
Yes.
I just found out. I slept with both of you in the past 3 weeks. I don't know who the father is. We need to take some DNA tests and then set some ground rules to say, nobody fuss over me. We need to figure out who the dad is so we can all move forward for this child. Now, who I will have to take a seat is also Sally, because she's not doing that.
Yeah.
You slept with Nick to try to come up with a way to put a baby on him, not knowing who the father is. I have a problem with that.
Yep.
So not only is she in my flip the script, but she's also my take a seat too. If I had to throw somebody else into a seat, Jack.
Absolutely.
You lost me when that you let Diane, talk you into doing grand larceny. I'm not a Nikki Newman fan of that whole trifecta or whatever, but that's wrong what you're about to do to Nikki, just to prove something to a person that's on parole who has $500,000 of your money.
Right.
You're stupid.
Yes.
All right. On the Bold and the Beautiful side, if I had to flip the script, now you did an actual script flip.
I did.
You said, let's change the whole thing. Within this current storyline, I would have had Bill flip the script on Sheila.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love you, smooch, smooch, blood kiss, blah blah blah, and then he walk away and say, and she's like, well, wait a minute, you were gonna get me out of jail. Oh, psych.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
And she's stuck there, crying. That would have been my flip the script. Leave her there.
And then just she's done.
She's done. But on the take a seat, Jesus Christ. I don't like the writing. There's so many ways they could have went with that, like you said. But I got to put both Bill and Sheila in a seat because that whole thing is just ridiculous. That relationship, the meeting on the beach, the blood kiss, the paying the jail, the the deputy off so you can have privacy with her to
Right.
prove to you that this what they have is real. The relationship you have with Sheila is as real as the relationship she had with Deacon. How
Exactly.
about that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Seriously. So yeah, both of them gotta take a seat. Bye bye, Bill. Bye bye, Sheila. Y'all go sit down somewhere and think about what y'all doing. And that's what I have.
Well, I'm looking forward to next week, even though I was not happy with some of the storylines. I still love my shows. So
Well,
I'm
I
looking
will
forward to it.
say next week should be good on The Young and the Restless, especially Monday. Oh my God. I'm thinking it's setting the precedent for everything after that.
Oh, I'm excited to see what happens.
Because being that Tucker's world is blowing up
Yeah.
and him teaming up with Phyllis, that's gonna be fire.
Now see, those are fireworks that I can sit and watch and be happy to watch.
Right. And then on the Bold and Beautiful side, I would say I'm interested to see how this court case is gonna go down next week.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see, girl. But yeah, hopefully Keisha should be back with us next week. I think she maybe work weekends, maybe once or twice a month. So
Oh, sure, sure. Okay. Well,
yeah,
great.
but
I'm
she's
glad she's
doing
feeling better.
yeah, she's doing a lot better. I'm happy about that. She was struggling when we tried to do the recap of 2022. With the stream was struggling, she was struggling, but
Oh,
we did what we could do.
I'm sorry I couldn't participate that day.
Oh, no problem. I know you had other stuff going on with your friends, so that's cool. All
Excellent.
right.
Well, have a great weekend.
All right, you two, and stay tuned. Well, we'll be back for the week of the 9th through the 13th. And we'll talk to you then. Bye.